Respected friends, let us join trying to study Sri Yoga Vaashishtha Maha Ramayana by invoking the Krupa of Sage Vaashishtha Ji, Bhagavan Rama, Valmiki Ji, etc. so that we are able to grasp what is hinted there. What is hinted there is the reality alone is real. Everything else is Maya Kalpita at the samashti level, Avidya Kalpita at the individual level, which we are continuing beyond time and place, within which there are many, many lives going on, going on. When the Vidya is gained, everything is known, seen as the reality. While understanding it, whatever the doubts that come, they are sorted out through study. And whatever the problems come in doing the sadhana, while doing them, and there the gurus again, in one form or the other, keep guiding us. Have the faith. Today's day, this much we understood that through the study of Shastra, the Gurus teach us Tattva Jnana. So let us follow it. As the days pass by, as our serious sincereness grows, as our Antakarana Shuddhi grows, Bhakti Shraddha grows, the knowledge also gets revealed. We are doing the 40th Sarga of this third Utpatthiprakaranam. In this Leelopakhyanam, after the Yuddha, both of them enter into Raja's palace, Antapura. There, Leela and the Raja Viduratha Samvada will happen. Much before that, Rama asks, how did they enter? Because they are in AATHIVAHIKA DEHA. So, once more, the topic comes. So, Vaashishtha Ji explains. Finally, again, here reminds us, because you have forgotten long back, that it is in the pure consciousness Chidakasha alone are the Chitta and Bhuta Akasha. Chittakasha, Chitta Jagat, Bhuta Akasha, Bhuta Jagat have in their substratum Chidakasha. Then where from they have come, as we just now said, it is the inexplicable Shakti which is without touching the substratum, uh, projecting these Chitta and Bhuta Akashas with the respective worlds in them. That is the answer. Um, we will see all that explanation. Plenty of shlokas, sargas we have to study. Hmm. Om, 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 Om Sahanavavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai, Om Shanti, 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 Om Namo Brahmadibhyo, Brahma Bhakti Yoga Dharma, विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः ओम यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्व वेदान्ताः सच्चास्त्राः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम् ओम श्री राम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने ओम ब्रह्मानंदं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्म भक्ति योग धर्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मत् गुरुभ्यो नमः श्री रामचंद्र परब्रह्मणे नमः श्री वशिष्ठ विश्वामित्र वाल्मीकि वेदव्यास वामदेव नारद आदि समस्त ब्रह्म विद्या योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण आदि शास्त्राणाम आचार्येभ्यो नमः संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषद योग वासिष्ठ महारामायणोक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्य बोधेन अस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्ष कैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थं सनातन धर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थं धर्म संस्थापकानां नित्य निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थम श्रीराम मंदिरवत् शिवकृष्णादि मंदिरादीनां पुनरवाप्ते तेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययनादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातन धर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यंतर शत्रुघ्न समूल निर्मूलन पूर्वक शाश्वत रूपेण भारतवर्षे विश्वे च अस्मात् क्षणादारभ्य वैदिक हिंदव संस्कृतेः धर्म मोक्ष पुरुषार्थानां सुसंप्रतिष्ठावाप्त्यर्थम् अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां सङ्कल्पितसत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयः तेषां हृदये परब्रह्मादीनां प्रति भक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्मसाफल्यार्थम् अनेकशास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्नमध्ये श्रीवाल्मीकिमहर्षिविरचित श्रीरामवसिष्ठसंवादरूप श्रीयोगवासिष्ठमहारामायण स्मृतिमोक्षप्रकरणशास्त्रस्य पारायणम् अध्ययनं साधना प्रयत्नं मोक्षार्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। मंगलाचरणश्लोकाः। ओम यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपशमं यान्ति तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः। ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शनदृश्यभूः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै ज्ञप्त्यात्मने नमः। स्फुरन्ति सीकरा यस्मात् आनन्दस्याम्बरे वनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। दिवि भूमौ तथाकाशे बहिरन्तश्च मे विभुः यो विभात्यवभासात्मा तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः। सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तमेकमजरं नित्यं विभुं शाश्वतं प्रत्यग्ब्रह्मरसायनं सुखगनं पूर्णं परं पावनं स्वात्मज्योतिरनादिमध्यनिधनं मायाविलासैर्मुहुः विश्वाकारमपास्तमायमभयं वन्दे विशुद्धं पदं। ज्ञानादेवात्मनो मोक्षः न तु कर्मसमाधिभिः अज्ञातोऽसौ ससदृश्यं सृजत्येवेति कीर्त्यते। तस्मै श्रीगुरवे वसिष्ठमुनये नित्यं नमस्कुर्महे। विश्वामित्रमुनिं शरण्यमनघं भूयो नमस्याम्यहं। तस्मै वाल्मीकये श्रीगुरुतमगुरवे भूरिभावैर्नताः स्मः। पूर्णानन्दस्वभावः स्वजनहितकृते माययोपात्तकायः कारुण्यादुद्दिदीर्षुर्जनमनवरतं मोहपङ्के निमग्नम् आविश्यान्तर्वसिष्ठं बहिरभिकलयन् शिष्यभावं वितेने यः संवादेन शास्त्रामृतजलधिममुं रामचन्द्रं प्रपद्ये। ॐ श्रीरामचन्द्रपरब्रह्मणे नमः। वसिष्ठादिऋषिभ्यो नमः। श्रीयोगवासिष्ठमहारामायण स्मृतिमोक्षप्रकरणशास्त्रं तृतीय उत्पत्तिप्रकरणं लीलोपाख्याने युद्ध समनंतर संस्मृति अनुभव वर्णनं नाम संस्मृत्यनुवर्णनं नाम चत्वारिंशः सर्गः। श्री वशिष्ठ उवाच। So in the 40th sarga Parayanam we have done yesterday. Then we saw how he summarized the entire Yuddha and then the Viramana of the Yuddha, and then night time all the Bhuta, Preta, Pishacha, their partying, their variety of making noises and all. That very night, Leelapati, Viduratha, Raja, called all his mantris and suggestion giving people, had a meeting as to what is to be done the next day. He was a little bit khinna because Yuddha is not any time a happy sign. Even if you win, still some of your people might have died or some destruction happens. So it definitely gives pain. People may justify anyway whatever loss happened, but we to won the war, that itself is great achievement. But at a higher level, that is no good. So, yet that inevitable situation, whether however it happened to Viduratha, the purpose of us studying their stories, when things are inevitable, they are inevitable, it will happen. Prevention is better than cure. That means when we become absolutely antarmukha, then also if prarabdha is there, such things come to us. When the new prarabdhas are not added, then only after long time when the existing prarabdhas go away, when the wisdom dawns that such yuddhas etc., we need not participate, we are safe. Otherwise, yuddha is an example. Any of such samsaric thing, we get involved as long as tattva jnana is not gained. That is the main lesson we have to learn. So, having discussed and planned for the next day, passing orders, etc., he went into his bedroom and happily slept in that beautiful room with cool breeze and all, huge cot and all, that description given. Now, Leela and Saraswati Mata, from that Vyoma, they enter in through some small chidra hole into that Raja's room, Viduratha, because Leela wanted to see him. She may do this time Sankalpa, ki we must be seen by him, and her Sankalpa Siddhi Sthiti has been achieved. So the Raja Viduratha will see, recognize, then there will be Samvada, none other than, no less than Saraswati Mata ke saath. When his Samvada happens, more probability of his awakening to the reality. So these are the topics in next few sargas anyway we are going to see. Before all that, Sri Rama's Prashna, how did they enter? Because the bodies are so big. So, as we found yesterday, the understanding behind Rama's question that even if it's Ativahika Deha, it may be free from the Stulata, therefore it is Sukshma, but its size may be big only. So that how come such a big bodies, both of them, entered through the Chidra? If they have entered through the door, it can be accepted. Door is big enough. But Chidra se kaise gaye? So that is how to this beautiful question answer given to him and through him to all of us by Vasishtha is once one is in Chidakasha sthiti, so too in the Ativahika sthiti, size doesn't matter. Hardness, softness doesn't matter. Anywhere they can enter and exit. That sankalpa is kafi. That is a state of evolved being into which you and I also, through sadhanas of detaching from the Sthula Adi Sharira entirely, can reach, should reach. But none of them guarantee the moksha. These are all yoga sadhanas by which Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira are transcended. Ativahika is gained. Moksha is only through the realization of Aham Brahmasmi. Anything done other than that, it may give different levels of experiences, but all of them are upadibadha. When there is body bondage, it's bondage only, not liberation. Good thought, isn't it? Very clear it is. Mm. That is why one may become yogi, one may become Siddha Purusha by gaining all the siddhis. Not guarantee that he is mukta. He may be doing miracles with his yoga shaktis, which are beyond the human possibilities. But only if he realizes the self, then he is mukta. So the one who realizes the self mukta, he may or may not be a yogi. If he wants, he can be. He can try and he can get those yoga siddhis if he wants, but need not. So yogi need not be mukta purusha. Mukta purusha need not be yogi. Yoga is the prakriti related sadhana. Yoga. Mukti is the purusha related sadhana. Knowing the purusha is realization. Mastering the prakriti is yoga. थोड़ा सा a little difference पकड़ लेना. Mastering prakriti to transcend prakriti and realize the self is one path. Mastering prakriti to use the prakriti for various siddhis is different thing. That's why in Yoga Darshanam we saw the recommendation by Patanjali himself that these are the yoga siddhis that also you have to transcend. For them also when there is vairagya, it's called paravairagya. Then only the Purusha Khyati will happen, the experience of the self in that language. Now, Rama's Prashna onwards, let us study. Shri Rama Uvacha, before that, Athate Lalane Vyoma Tat Parityajya Tat Gruham Randhrair Vivishaturvat Lekhebja Mukulam Yatha. Atha, now Te Lalane, both those women, Saraswati and Leela Mata, Leela and Saraswati Mata, Vyoma Tat Parityajya, from that space wherever they were, Parityajya, Tat Gruham Randhrair Vivishatur. That Gruha of Raja Viduratha, Randhrair Vivishatur, through small holes they entered. Lekhe Abja Mukulam Yatha, Vata Lekhe Abja Mukulam Yatha, like the wind enters into the Nala of the lotus. They entered. Vayu ke roop mein. Sri Rama Uvach. Sri Ramji's question. Kiyanmatramidam sthulam shariram vagvidamvara randrena tantutanuna katamashvavishat prabho. So, Kiyanmatramidam sthulam shariram. Sthula sharira, he may also mean Adivahika but big in size. Or he may be in the thought that they are in Sthula sharira, forgotten that they are also in the Ativahika Deha. Most probably, Rama's word Stula here used is in terms of size, definitely, not Stula Sharira, because already was told that they are in Ativahika. That's how they could, from that Raja's Gruha in that Akasha, they went crossing the Brahmandas, they entered into this place where that Raja is there as king. So how will Rama forget? He won't. So here stula means bigness. So kiyan matramidam stulam shariram. Big it is. Vag vidam vara. The one best among knowers and speakers of this speech. Hey Guru, hey Vaashishtha ji. Randhrena tantu tanuna. Very fine hole. As finer as a thread. Katham ashu avishat prabho. How did they through that small hole which is tinier than the thread, they entered with these big shariras? This is the question. Now the answer is the whole Yoga Vedanta Vishayas. What Vashishtha ji says, let us see. Sri Vasishtha Uvacha, good thoughts. Let us see how much we are able to explain as well as understand. Narayana. Om, Om. श्रीवसिष्ठ उवाच आदिभौतिकदेहोऽहम् इति यस्य मतिभ्रमः तस्यासावणुरन्ध्रेण गन्तुं शक्नोति न अनगः. See, simple. Adibhautikah deha aham. I am this Stula Sharira. Iti, in this way. Yasya mati brahmaha. Who have got the Brahma understanding, conviction about themselves. What is the take home point therefore from this? That this Stula Sharira is real and I am this Stula Sharira. This consideration is Mati Brahma only. It is misunderstanding only. It is a confused information only. Where we are having this Stula Sharira, in the Anu Paramanu, there is Sukshma Sharira. In that Anu Paramanu, there is Paramatma Tattva. Therefore, it is Paramatma only. But we take it as Stula Sharira in our misunderstanding, in our avidya, in our ajnana. So, Adibhautika Deha Aham. I am this Adibhautika Deha iti. In this way, Yasya Mati Brahmaha, the one who has this notion wrong, deluded notion, Tasya, naturally of that person, Asau Anurandrena, Gantum na Shaknoti Anaga. O sinless Rama, you are right, from the small hole they cannot enter. Why? Because in him, Aham Stula Dehosmi Bhavana is there. That Stulata, how it can enter in the hole? That notion he will have. Therefore, he is held on to the Sthula Sharira Bhava. Naturally, he can't. So, Roditoham Anena iti Namamyatreti Yasya Dhihi Anubhutanubhavati Bhavati Ityanubhuyate. Because of our bhavana, we are having this anubhava, and whoever have this anubhava, they all know that I, in this Stula Sharira, with this height and weight, because of this, I am held, I am stopped from entering to that hole. In this Brahma, whoever are there. What is the first Brahma before it? That I am Stula Sharira. So I am Stula Sharira. When I am Stula Sharira, this height and weight and stoutness, how can I enter into into this hole? So this Stulata of mine is an obstruction for me to enter into the hole. This is how we all are living. That's the meaning. In the yoga sadhana, these are the shackles that are broken through lot of viveka and lot of detachment from dehadi and developing the sakshi bhava, reaching to the ativahika level. Takes lot of time. Such yogis for us appeared in the Stula Sharira, but their Stula Sharira, through their yoga sadhana, gone back into its origin of the Ativahika Sthiti. Therefore, they just land where we are, talk to us, and then just they fly. You are surprised, अरे ये कैसे जा रहे हैं? इसलिए जा रहे हैं because he is in Ativahika Sthiti. As per his own state of achievement through yoga. We opposite. We are in the state of achievement of I am Sharira Sthiti. From many lives, it's going on even in this life. Where did we think, understand, contemplate that this Stula Sharira, as much it is appearing to be Stula, behind it is the Sukshmata. Therefore, the Sukshma is real and I am that. We never did it. All these practices we have thoroughly studied without doing even a little bit when we studied our Taittiriya Upanishad. First, Annamaya Kosha is told. Then, inside the Annamaya Kosha, permeating the entire Annamaya Kosha, Atma of the Annamaya Kosha is Pranamaya. That was told. If we had practiced it by now, till from then onwards, we would have identified with the Pranamaya, then we will be at that level of life. All the worry, anxiety of Annamaya would have gone. Same way, going from the Prana to the Manovaya, Vijnanamaya. When you reach to Vijnanamaya, you are in the Ativahika Sthiti. Annapranamana will manifest when you want for the Vyavahara, else they will be dissolved. From me only they get manifested, they go back into me. When I will, when I have the willingness. Now also, it will be told in the further slokas, the Annamaya Pranamaya Shariras are expressing from the Paramatma only, from the Vijnanamaya only. But because of vasanas and all, they are forcefully by their choice manifesting on which we have no control. The difference between you and I is, the difference between we and the yogis is, yogi also have Stula Sukshma Sharira, we are under compulsion having the Stula Sukshma Sharira, they have by choice because they have done the yoga sthiti. So whenever they want, they can manifest. Nahi to they can dissolve. We cannot dissolve. We are bound by our prarabdha karmas, our kamanas, vasanas, our settling in dehosmi bhavana, our feeling secured with it. And with this body, whatever the things that I have around, I have attachment with them. With the people also have so much of fondness. अब इतने जंजीरों से मैं देह हूँ इसमें फंसे हैं. Yogi is the one who cut all these ropes. Therefore, he has disappeared from Dehosmi to I am Vijnanamaya Koshosmi. That's called Ativahika Deha. So that possibility is there, catch it. At this moment, this much is our learning. Later on, when we ourselves do various sadhanas, we ourselves reach to those levels. अब तो इंफॉर्मेशन गैदरिंग चल रहा है इस जिंदगी में. साधना अगर शुरू किया तो अच्छे हैं आप में से कुछ लोग. First know that all these are existing. So, Roditaha ham anena. I am as a huge stout physical body stopped from entering into that hole. Iti na mam yatra iti yasya dihi. How can I enter into this? This is my conviction. Anubhuta anubhavati. And bhavati iti anubhuyate. As we think, we live like that, and we are living like that. That is everybody's anubhuti. Okay. Yenanubhutam purvardham gacchami satat katam bhavati paschardham gamanonmukha chetasaha. This is a very subtle, elaborate thing. Yena anubhutam purvardham. This stula sharira is uttarardham. Before the stula sharira, the vijnanamaya sharira, ativahika deha is the purvardham. That purvardham only grassified. But the one with a variety of yoga sadhanas has, first of all, intellectually understood, then through various yoga sadhanas, when he has done the nischaya, remember this, nischaya, that I am not this uttarardha stula sharira, but I am the purvardha ativahika deha. Such people, yena anubhutam purvardham, they gachami, as a sukshma sharira, as a vijnanamaya atma, I can enter through the hole as an ativahika deva. Iti sa tat kriyaha, that he is able to pierce and enter. Katam bhavati paschardham gamanonmukha chetasaha. So he will not have the paschardha, the sthula deha tadatmya. Therefore, he will not be stopped by any of those size conditionings. He can enter through that chidra of that whatever there, through that they entered. So here, Purvardha, Stu, Mayam, Ativahika Deha, Jnanam, both of them have. For that, how much of Sakshi Bhava with the Deha is practiced? How much of Deha Tathyatmya leading things they must have given up? Yehi tapasya. They say I have to control my tongue. So then for years together I don't eat what the tongue wants. I only eat what's required. इतने साल कर कर के तब वो जिह्वा पे मेरा कंट्रोल होता है. Isn't it? निद्रा का भी. Only 4 hours I will sleep. Now to 7-8 hours I have to. Curtailing to 4 hours means for many lives I have to do the various practices with knowledge that excessive nidra comes because the wrong food eaten. Excessive nidra comes because of so much of tiredness, exhaustion in unwanted activities. So when one that way curtails all the unwanted food taken, when he fully balances his nitya kriyas, where the energies are conserved, he will not tire so much that he need more than 4 hours. This is an achievement. Everything, as in the world, so in spirituality, are achievements achieved through practice preceded by the knowledge and willingness. I have the jnanam and I am willing to control. I go on doing practice. One day I achieve. In the same way, these two have experienced themselves to be the purvartha, that is the ativahika deha. They are not in the uttarartha deha tadatmya. When they are in the uttarartha deha, that's Sthula Sharira, naturally the door has to happen. Then the door has to open, then only they can enter. But as an ativahika, not required. Rama, remember it. So, yena anubhutam purva ardham gacchami iti sa tat kriyaha. With that, when he has confidence, I will enter, he will enter. Katham bhavati paschardham gamana unmukha chetasaha. To such people who are at the ativahika chitta level, no blockade happens. Because the black blocking happens only when we have stula deha tadatmya. That sthiti is there, we have to understand. That we can manifest as stula sharira and conduct as per the requirement of interaction with the stula people around. Yet, in that stula only there is ativahikata. This stula can be enfolded into that ativahikata. Ativahika is unfolded into stula when required. See that possibility. That's how they are in the ativahika deha. Then nahi bhari urdhvamayati nadho gacchati pavakaha ya yathaiva pravritta chit sa tataiva pratishtita. See, na he is telling that because of our knowledge or ignorance, with our right or wrong practices, wherever we are stationed, we will have to follow those rules and regulations. If you practice Chidakashosmyaham, those Chidakasha level rules are applicable to you. When you practice Ativahika Dehoham, that level of conditionings apply on you. When you consider Stula Dehoham, then Stula Deha conditions apply to you. That's how the nature is. It can't be otherwise. So where do you stand now? You will have to go through that. If you want to go to the higher level, you have to reach to that level of sadhana. Clerk का उधर ही seat होता है. He cannot have a special chamber. If you have to get a chamber, he'll have to work and become officer. Yeah, departmental exams लिखते लिखते या डायरेक्ट लिखकर ऑफिसर बनोगे, then you get a chamber. In the same way, examples are nahi vari urdhvamayat. You don't see the water going up. Water always goes down. So too na adho gacchati pavakaha. The fire never goes down. It always goes up only. These are the examples given to say that जैसा nature वैसा ही होता है. या यथा एव प्रवृत्ता चित. Pure consciousness, because of ignorance, is assumed in whatever the way you assume, those rules regulations apply there. Paramatma never changed, but your notion, that is called mind, that's called Maya, is so powerful that चीज नहीं होता हुआ भी it projects. अब चीज है ही नहीं है तो उनका गुण भी नहीं होना चाहिए, बट नहीं होता हुआ चीज हो है ऐसा दिख रहा है ना, therefore गुण भी दिखते हैं. Like in the dream, there is no ice at all, but ice is projected. Because the ice is projected, naturally it has to be the cold also. Because ice is cold, no? अगर आप ड्रीम में अपने रेफ्रिजरेटर के फ्रीजर से बर्फ निकालोगे तो ठंडा ही रहेगा वो. Because you are now in that level of dream of the ice in the refrigerator. If it is ice, though it is not real from the waking standpoint, but you are in the dream, no? देखो ठंडा ही लगेगा. So to वहां फायर गर्म ही रहेगा वहां. It won't become the other way around. So those two examples we understand. So to see the powerful sentence, ya yatha eva pravruta chitta. It is always pure consciousness only. But in whatever the way it has been projected as, sa tatha eva pratishtita. At the samishti level, that is Ishvara, with his Maya Shakti on the chit, the entire Brahmanda is projected. In that, one projection is given as Jiva. We are given little freedom again to project with our minds. What we project, that becomes we. We become that. So they have transcended. That's how through Yoga Sadhana, this Sthula Deha Tadatmya, they are in Ativahika Sthiti that has to be caught. Okay. Then another examples. Chayayam upavishtasya kutastapanubhutayah यस्य संवेदनेन्योर्थः केनचिन्नानुभूयते. छायायाम उपविष्टस्य. The one who is seated in the shadow under a tree or in a roof, etc. Kuta tapanubhutayah. How will he have the direct experience of the heat of the sunlight? Shadow में बैठा है ना. In the same way, यस्य संवेदने अन्यः अर्थः. Okay. केनचित् न अनुभूयते. अन्य अर्थ केनचित् न अनुभूयते. यस्य संवेदना means when the samyak vedanam, full realization happens naturally of what? Of the truth, of the reality, of the self, of the chidakasha. अन्य अर्थ केनचित् न अनुभूयते. By that being, the stulata, the sukshmata are not experienced. For the sake of vyavahara, he can assume it, but he won't become stula sukshma as we feel now we have become. याद रखो कभी भी परमात्मा जगत नहीं बना, बट हमारे ज्ञान अज्ञान के अनुसार इफ आई एम ज्ञानी आई रिमेन एज द परमात्मा तत्व. जगत कल्पना आई डू नोइंग दैट इट इज कल्पना विदाउट गिविंग इट रियलिटी. इफ आई एम ignorant person, I also do kalpana of jagat. In that, I take the kalpita jagat as real. Kalpitatva I drop, take it as real. And the substratum on which it is kalpita, that's gone far away from my sight. That's how Ajnani. Because of my Jnana and Ajnana, the Paramatma has not become anything. He remains as he is. In my Ajnana, I see Paramatma as Jagat. In my Jnana, I see Jagat as Paramatma. So here, like the one who's in shade, heat will not touch him. So to the one in the self, he will not have the Sthula Sukshma Dehas, therefore their conditions or limitations. Atapa means the conditions and limitations of upadhis. Staying in the shade means realizing one's essential self. Yasya samvedane. The one who has realized the reality. Why will he have the upadhi conditionings? They won't. So these Leela Saraswati are at that level. Okay. Now the next topic. Interesting discussion going on. Yatha samvit tatha chittam satathavasthitin gata paramena prayatnena niyate nyadasham punah. First line is where we stand now and what reason. Second line is where we have to reach and how. Okay. First line is yatha samvit tatha chittam. So tatha avasthitam gata. Samvit is pure conscious self. That pure consciousness, as in our chitta we imagine, it appears to be like that because of our chitta. That chitta is our thoughts and convictions. And that thoughts and conviction chitta itself is the Maya Shakti. It's only a power. It can be misused like this, and we project the world and identify with it. And it has another power in it. When you rightly utilize it from these wrong projections, you come out and you can realize your Chit Swarupata. This, in many texts, we studied it in one of the places in Tulsi Ramayana. In Aranya Kanda, I think we will see that. Rama telling Lakshmana, what is Maya? He tells out two Mayas. You understand? Vidya Maya and Avidya Maya. Isn't it? Vidya Maya, Jabasa Jiva Para Bhavakupa. Avidya Maya binds him. And the Vidya Maya liberates him. Both are Maya. So Maya Shakti, that only appears as the Chitta. Chitta, not Chitta. Chitta. The Chitta, when projects the Stula Sukshmatas, then that is appearing. And identification with that. Now you and I are at that level. So यथा संवित तथा चित्तम स तथा अवस्थितिं गता है. सो चित्त जैसा है वैसा संवित उस तरह से हमारे द्वारा देखा जाता है. राइट नाउ वी आर सीइंग चित्त एज चित्त प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस विथ अवर चित्त एज दिस जीव जगत ईश्वर. ये सब हमारे चित्त का खेल है. बिकॉज ऑफ अवर चित्त seeing this जीव जगत ईश्वर, चित्त द प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस हैज नॉट चेंज्ड. Because I see ornaments in the gold, gold has not changed. Now the next line is important. Paramena prayatnena. Exactly this is what we are studying in our next text also. Oda bhasat shuddha bodham vivichyat atiyatnataha. Extreme effort. Atiyatnataha. Here also, paramena prayatnena niyate anya dasham punah. Again, going to the Guru, listening from him, the Tattva with its Swarupa Lakshanas, and understanding the Upadhis are Mithya and Kalpita, with so many yuktis, logics, which we have seen in Mandukya Adi Upanishad. ये सब process से, which is called as Parama Prayatna, Niyate, again we retrace back from the Chitta Kalpita, Stula Sukshma Sthiti to the Chit Sthiti, the consciousness level. देखो न्यू वर्जन ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग वेदांत थ्रू योग वासिष्ठ. Same thing, but this way it is told. That is my chitta, which is projected out of Maya, doing its sankalpa because of its Shakti. And that sankalpa Shakti making appear the world, giving reality to the world, and we stuck up in that world. Just like when I go to sleep, before I sleep, my mind projects a dream. And in dream world, taking it as reality, am I not stuck up in that dream world, as long as the dream is there, with all the doings, with all the experiences, with all the interactions, with all the labahani, with all the sukha dukha, pause and catch this point. Dream projected, we got stuck up in it, and we interacted as if that was real. So too this whole thing is projected, we are stuck up in it, and we are doing all these interactions as real. Whereas from the waking mind, there is nothing of the dream is real. In the same way, from the Chidakasha, pure self standpoint, all these are nothing real but projected. So as long as we are in dream, that appears to be real. When we wake up to this, that is gone. So too, as long as we are in this waking, it appears to be real. When we wake up to this selfhood, adiprayatnena, then we understand this is also not real. That is the meaning of paramena prayatnena niyate anyadasham punah. That parama prayatna is sadhana chatushtaya sampada. Parama prayatna is Shravana Manana Chintana from the Guru, Shravana, then Adhyana Manana Chintana from our side, and then Bhayankara Prayatna, Parama Prayatna is that Niridhyasana Prayatna. All of that will be successful only the Viveka, Vairagya, Shama, Dama, all of them are 100%. इनमें 1% भी कमी है मानो, means the Viveka is not complete. Therefore, even an iota you take the world as real. If the Vairagya is not complete, means even iota you have Raga Desha to the world. If the Shama is not complete, means even little bit mind is not in control, it is doing its own job of projection. Even little bit Dhamma is not there, means the senses are still seeking the world, even an iota. Then such person cannot do the Nididhyasana. Up to Shravana he can do, up to Manana he can do. Through that Shravana Manana he can understand the subject matter. But understanding won't give moksha. Realizing is moksha. To realize the self, the nididhyasana has to be done. This even little of lacking of this Anushtha Sampada sufficient a blockade for us not allowing us to do the nididhyasana. In the nididhyasana, Naham Jivosmi, Naham Devosmi, Aham Brahmasmi is consciously practiced after the intellectual conviction, which is achieved through Chintana, preceded by Manana, preceded by Adhyayana, preceded by Shravana from the Guru. So you and I are doing Shravana now. Then we do the Adhyayana, Manana, Chintana. With that, the clear conviction comes that Adhisthana Brahman alone is real, all are kalpita. Then we sit on the Nididhyas. To really reject our identity with the Sthula Sukshmas and identify ourselves with the pure consciousness. Whether you do it as the Drashta Drishya, Drukudrishya Viveka, or you do it as Sakshi, in any way you do, the idea is to avoid in the substrate. Paramatma is Sakshi. To be a Sakshi, then you will reach to Paramatma. Paramatma is a Drashta, be a Drashta. Paramatma is an Adhisthana, be the Adhisthana. Paramatma is subject without being becoming an object. So do that practice. Kuch bhi practice karo, we reach to that. But to do that, as we say again and again, intellectual conviction required, along with the sadhana chatushtaya. Therefore, for you and I as sadhakas, though we are having jignasa of realizing self, when we try, we will not able to achieve. Then go to Guru. Guru says you are stuck up here, usko clear karo. कर दिया फिर से गए, again you are stuck up here, फिर से करो. Exactly this is what we find the Bhruguvalli of Taittiriya Upanishad, if you remember. And the Bhrugu, the Varuna, Bhrugurvai Varunihi, Varunam Pitaram Upasasara. So the Bhrugu goes to his Pita, tells no, asks him, I want Brahma Vidya. He says, do tapasya, you will know. And for tapasya, he gives three principles. Yato va imani bhutani jayante, yena jatana jivanti, yat prayanti abhisambhishanti. Then this fellow contemplates. Everything comes from Anna, stays is Anna, goes into Anna. Therefore, Annam Brahmeti Vejanat. He goes to the father and says, मेरे को इस तरह सोचा तो अन्न ब्रह्म के रूप में दिखाई दिया, फिर भी मेरे को लगा कि अन्न तो जड़ है, बाहर का वस्तु है. It may not be the Brahman. What's your opinion, father, Guru? He said, go and do again tapasya. Then he rejected Anna and came to Prana. Then the Mana. In this way, 5 times the father goes on sending him. 4 times, sorry. Fifth time he doesn't come to father because he realizes the ultimate Brahma. After rejecting the Vijnana and Anandamaya Koshas also. In his tapasya. And what is the support of tapasya? Yato va imani jayante yena jatani jitavanti yat prayante visamshanti. That from whom everything is arising, that because of which everything is sustaining, and that into which everything is resolving. These three were the ones hetus for him to contemplate. In that he realized Brahman finally. पहले इन तीन प्रिंसिपल्स को अन्नमय प्राणमय इत्यादि भी सपोर्ट कर रहे थे, but still they are other than me, they are perishable, so they cannot be Atman. That's how he rejected. Same thing we see in another Upanishad also. In many other texts, this type of practice, like Indra Virochana Katha. Virochana looks at the reflection of water as told by Prajapati, takes the Sharira as Atman, goes and preaches that one. But Indra stays 32, 32, 32, 96 plus 5, 101 years. Then every time he is refined in his knowledge. Third time he realizes, I am Brahman. So अति प्रयत्न का एग्जाम्पल्स में दे रहा हूं. परमेण प्रयत्नेन नीयते अन्य दशाम पुनः. So what is the topic going on? What is there is always pure consciousness. But that we with our chitta, which is an expression of Maya, took it as the world, and in that world is Panchamahabhutas and this Panchamaha Kosha Yukta Jiva Bhav. We are identified with it. Ati Prayatnena, all the identifications with have to be dropped and the reality given to them is dropped. Then only the real reality is realized. Another prakriya we have seen in Katha Upanishad again is what? The Laya prakriya. है ना? यच्छेद वांग मनसी प्राज्ञः तद यच्छेद ज्ञानमात्मनि ज्ञानमात्मनि महति नियच्छेद. This is a one prakriya of going back into the reality. In Gita again and in Kathopanishad again, third chapter of Gita, Indriyani paranyaho indriyebhya param manah manasastu para buddhi yo buddhi paratastu saha evam buddhi param buddhva. In this way. Again in same our Bhagavat Purana, Mukti Skanda, 15th chapter if you remember, as from the Paramatma, the Jagat has got manifested, उसको उल्टा लय करते हुए go back to Paramatma, it was told. स्थूल को सूक्ष्म में लय करते हुए. Same thing in Manduke said is what? In the amatra resolve the Jagrata Avastha, U में स्वप्न अवस्था, म में सुषुप्ति अवस्था. Thereafter अ को उ में, उ को म में मिलाओ, फिर म को अमात्रा में मिलाओ. That amatra is Brahman. Turiya Atma. See, in each of the such texts, gurus suiting to the disciples of that time, they taught these as prakriyas to what enfold the projected world and the unfold the substrata. That's called as paramena prayatnena. Niyate, again niyate means obtained, anya dasham punah, the earlier state is realized. Do it. उसके लिए इच्छा जागृत करो, जाओ गुरु के पास, लड़ो अपने मन से, हराओ अपने मन को, उसके सामने हारो मत. Isn't it? हाँ, everywhere it is same, even in the worldly parlance too. The one who is fed up of his poverty and wants to have lots of money and luxuries and lavishness, first that thought has to come to him. Then only he will think about how to earn the money. Then he'll work hard day in and day out. So in this life, he'll be successful up to hand to mouth level. But that effort and habit of effort is of him is carried forward the next life. So next life, these ambitions that I must have 10 crores, 20 crores, he'll fulfill. पहले तो उनको होना चाहिए ना कि मुझे रईस बनना है, how to become rich. अगर है ही नहीं, वो तो मंद बुद्धि में है, then he won't put the effort and he will never achieve. So to a political power. I want to become prime minister or president or at least a minister. With that, you have to know all the political things and struggle. In this life, you will become an effective karyakarta and die. That much only the capacity in this life. But that zeal, zest, desire in you, in next life will make you at least a municipal councillor, maybe an MLC, because some philanthropic work you have done, you are sent to a council में बना भेज दिया. After 3-4 lives, when your ichha is strong and your prayatna is parama prayatna, then in the fifth life you will become MLA without ministry. Nobody has just like became minister. नो 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 उनका अपना बेटा है इसने बेटे को खड़ा कर दी इसके सारे सिंपत्ति वोट्स उसको मिल गए ये सब ऊपर से देखने को होते फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल व्हाई डिड ही born as son to that MLA he is already that jiva has got already his vasanas that he wants to become that's why he is born there after 10 lives he will become MP then after 20-30 lives PM and in that PM also Khwahish what is it I have to break all records what is the record I should be the longest serving PM. You know, our PM's goal, ambition appears to be like that now. That मैं सबसे ज़्यादा टाइम में PM बनूंगा, along with desire to serve the nation and all. ये सब नाटक है. You serve the nation, you go and others will destroy again. Again, some other Modi will come better than you. He will again serve it. You and I are conditioned to this period of history. Therefore, we think this alone is real. ऐसे कितने बार पहले हुआ? In the history, if you take of millions of years, how many अनंत कोटि समय these things have gone on going on happening आगे भी होता रहेगा like I am giving this lecture is it new or what millions and millions of time things have happened again it will happen है ना कल और आएंगे मुझसे बेहतर कहने वाले तुमसे बेहतर सुनने वाले it's a fact there is nothing great in this projected world nobody is great nobody is indispensable ये सब नाटक अरे अवतार अवतार ही आकर चले गए क्या बात करो नॉट वंस ब्रह्मदेव के एक दिन में 1000 बार राम जी का अवतार घसीट कर आना पड़ेगा 1000 बार वन डे टाइम ऑफ ब्रह्मदेव लाइक दैट ब्रह्मदेव हैज 365 days सो 365 into 1000 कितने हो गए 365,000 मीन्स व्हाट 36,500,000 बार ब्रह्मदेव का इन 1 year 36,500 in 1 day of Brahmadeva 1 year of Brahmadeva Rama avatar has to come like that Brahmadeva lives 100 years imagine कितने बार अवतार हुआ हो. From that standpoint if you think this whole history this period these happenings is a tiny molecule only it's not a molecule atom by the way so ati prayatna explained example sarpaika pratyayo rajvam asarpa pratyaye balat nivartate nyatha tu esha tishthatyeva yatha stitah this shloka is little powerful है ना like with proper conscious efforts guided by the one who has already seen the rope as rope when we also put efforts we apprehend the existing reality the rope. Once the rope is realized, there will no more be snake and consequent whatever samsara of the fear, etc. Point one. This is not important. This is anyway known. It is highly important. But immediately important point is what key if somebody is not approaching the one who has already seen the rope as rope, not taking guidance from him, not trying to apprehend the rope, and more importantly, continuing in his notion of this as serpent as real, as long as he continues, so long he will have serpent only as real. That is the main point. Anyatha tu esha tishtati eva yatha stitah. If one doesn't do that parama prayatna and realize the substratum, whatever notional life he is living, he'll continue to live no limit of time. The only limit is till he realizes the reality. कब तक इसको सर्प का भ्रांति रहेगा एक दिन या 2 दिन 1 साल या 2 साल नो No time limit. It is infinite time. Only one answer is till he realizes Rupa is Rupa. So too, till I realize the Paramatma Tattva, whether it is today or tomorrow or a million lives, I will continue to be in the Upadhi Tadatmya. कब तक मैं ऐसा रहूंगा स्वामी जी? मतलब जब तक तुम आत्मा को नहीं जानते हो, नहीं जानूंगा तो तब तक ऐसे रहोगे. दिस इज व्हाट इट इज. Till you don't realize self, you are identifying the not self. Till how long I identify with the wrong self and suffer? Arre, it is in your hands. Till you realize the self, you will continue. See the trick of the explanation, matlab the subtlety of the explanation, and the importance of the understanding. Sarpa eka pratyaha rajvam asarpa pratye balat nivartate anyatha. When by the guidance, effortfully, when one tries, having realized the rope, one transcends the projected snake. वो मेहनत कर ही नहीं रहा है, वो तो होगा ही नहीं ना. Therefore, अन्यथा तु एषा तिष्ठति एव यथा स्थितः. If one is not trying, then the snake notion will remain for eternity. So too, this Jagat is real, Jiva is real, I am Stula Deha. They'll continue for millions of lives, and in every life, whenever, especially the human life comes, variety of karmas we do, that leads to the variety of shariras, like the frog, like the crocodile, like the elephant. Chalta hi rahega. But you see, in all those jivas, sharira or jivas, one thing is common, that they all live as dehosmi. दैट्स वाई वो अपने देह को बचाने के लिए कोशिश करते. दे डोंट कंसिडर है मैं तो इतना थर्ड क्लास कॉकरोच का शरीर में हूं, मरने दो मेरे को. ऐसा नहीं कहता हो कॉकरोच. ही डजंट वांट टू डाई. इट्स नॉट द क्वेश्चन ऑफ कॉकरोच बॉडी देयर. इट्स अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ identification with the body. Incidentally, in that life, it happened to have the cockroach sharira. That jiva, the mosquito, he doesn't want to die. I am such a useless, wretched mosquito sharira. Let me leave it करके वो नहीं कहता हो. Because of the notion that they have. So too in the human life also. People 60 years, 70 years, 80, 90, all the body becoming weak, these are coming, admitted in the hospital, even on the ICU, फिर भी doesn't want to die. Because देहतादात्म्य. And still he is looking for doctor, अच्छी दवा करो, मेरे को बाहर जाना है, मेरे को ठीक होना है. That is called Abhinivesha according to the yoga, the fifth klesha. Avidya, Asmita, Ragadvesha, the Abhinivesha. So then every time we will get Sharira, every time we will become old and diseased, every time it will die, every time we have the pain and suffering of old age and death, till in one of the life we start realizing ourselves to be the birth and deathless, pure conscious self, and realize it. Isn't it? A test for it is what? देखो कुछ कुछ लोगों की लाइफ में ऐसा होता है कि गुरु परमात्मा अपियर्ड. अरे तुम्हें साधना करना है तो ये शरीर के लिए साधना नहीं होगा. इमीडिएटली ये शरीर छोड़, यू विल बी गिवन अनदर साधना शरीर. यू कैन डू साधना देयर. दिस इज वन ऑप्शन. द अदर ऑप्शन, you doesn't want to grow spiritually, you want to hold on to your relatives around and stay in this body only. As per your prarabdha, the life will continue. What do you want? A sadhaka, if he understood that realizing the self is ultimate goal, he says, मार डाला अभी मुझे ये शरीर नहीं चाहिए. अगर दूसरा मिल रहा है मेरे को साधना वाला, immediately you take me. And if somebody doesn't say that, it means what? He is not convinced about realizing the self. He wants to continue as the Deha. Therefore, with this Deha, he has got all the relations around, all the bhoga around, all the positions around. You want to enjoy it as long as possible with this body as this body. That's why some sadhakas die young. Because in them, the acceptance is there. That this body I don't want to live because I have to do sadhana. For sadhana, this body is not useful now. हो गया इससे जो करना था. So they live and go. But we all samsaris, we want to live as long as possible only to enjoy bhoga with sharira as a jiva. Because we don't have clarity that I want to realize the self. I'm giving one example, one way of explanation. As to the Parama Prayatname, first of all, that willingness is required. That's what we started the topic 10 minutes back. I told you about the person who is very poor. First, you'll have to have the desire to become rich, then the efforts. So, to a person, you'll have to have the desire. First, that have to become the minister or MP. Then he starts efforts. Then, step by step, he grows. In the same way, through the study of Upanishad, whenever Atma Ichcha becomes stronger and stronger, to such an extent that everything you are ready to give up, then the sadhana starts. When the sadhana starts, in its own time, it concludes in giving the result. Till that time, we have to do the effort. That is the meaning of Paramena Prayatnena. Okay, now from the 15th shloka, little more deeper discussion is Yatha Samvit Tatha Chittam Yatha Chittam Tate Hitam Balam Pratyap Samsiddham Etat Konanubhutavat. See, Yatha Samvit Tatha Chittam Yatha Chittam Tatha Hitam Balam Pratyap Samsiddham Etat Konanubhutavat. Pure consciousness remaining intact, whatever conscience we have, that makes our chitta. Here, conscience means vasanas. Whatever chitta is that, in that way we do the karma. Whatever the karmas we do, those phalas we get. To get those phala, those respective shariras we are given. Balam pratyapi samsiddham edat. Even children know this. Kona anubhutavan, who is the matured one who doesn't know it? Matlab, in Rama Yana Kala is Rama's time, even the children know the relation between the karma phala. They are taught that first. That's why all of them outside do the sadharma karma and Sri Rama Upasana, because luckily Bhagavan Rama is there as an avatar as well as the king. Inside they all do their sadhana of realizing the self. उस समय में सब ऐसे होते थे. In the Satya Yuga, even the outer dharmas are very minimum. All of them are to that Satya Vastu only, tuned to. In Dwapar Yuga, slowly the Arthakama have become overpowering. Little dharma was there, moksha is gone. In Kali Yuga, moksha is gone, dharma is gone. By hook or crook means with all adharma, only earn the artha, use it for kama, indulge. And but give it a name of called as I have managed it, I have mastered it, I have strategized it, I am smart enough to earn money. Smart enough to earn money is the most stupidity, because the money forces you to buy the things and indulge in that. And when you indulge in the things, you remain as Dehosmi, you will never become Aham Brahmasmi. Therefore, is it a smartness or Bevakufi? Think. I'm just giving how once the spiritual knowledge comes, whole definitions change. So in that yuga, even children know that as the conscience, so the chitta, as the chitta, so the actions, as the actions, so the results. So change the actions to change the results. Change the chitta to change the actions. Change the conscience or vasanas to change the chitta. How? By studying the Shastra. Keep Paramatma as the goal, nothing else. Then the chitta also will think like that. Then the actions will be done only of those which are sadhana. This is how we have to, अति प्रयत्न we have to do. Okay, कंटिन्यू करेंगे, बढ़िया बढ़िया श्लोक आएंगे. सर्वं श्रीरामार्पणमस्तु. ओम पूर्णमदः श्रुतिमाते नमः. तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. Thank you. Now join for Vakyavritti, Lagu.